What's up, guys? This is Emmett here with my very first video. This is going to be a first part series of a very long series of just backtesting with me on TradingView Replay. If you guys want to get my live signals, full breakdowns, and live streaming, which starts next Monday, which is 6/5/23, join the link down in the description, and let's get started here. What's up, guys? Welcome to Zen Lab. This is, again, part one of a very long series of you guys just back testing with me so you can see exactly how I enter a trade, what my rules are, which are down here, and what not to do if the trade doesn't line up, which is just sit on my hands. I'm down to have a no trade day, even as a scalper. Now, it doesn't happen often, almost not at all, because I trade 4 pairs. But if it does, because we're only trading 1 pair on the session, good deal. We just won't take the trade. So first of all, we're only going to use 2 sessions for this video, or 2 time frames, which is going to be 15-minute and 5-minute. Sometimes I use the 1 hour to give me true trend. If the 200 MA is kind of acting odd, like it's sitting flat in between price right here, we'll go to the 1 hour to see what true trend is. But for this video, 2 time frames, 15-minute, 5-minute. So let's go ahead and get into the supply setup, because our 200 is on our side. So we're only looking for supply setups, demand when the 200 is sitting down here. Here's our only 15-minute supply we have. The reason I wouldn't take it as of right now if it were to come up, because it doesn't have a high to take out before getting into the zone. So I need to see something like this. Come up, come down, and then come to take out this high before coming into the zone, and then I'll participate on its way back down. And the reason for that is I need to see somebody's orders, somebody's stops being hit before coming up into my entry, because it's a zero-sum game. If somebody's not losing, I'm not winning. I have to take somebody else's order out first. So there's only 15-minute markup right here. Let's go ahead and go down to the 5 minutes, see what we got looking. We have 2 supplies sitting right here. Okay, so I can mark this guy up right here. Why am I marking this up? Because there is a gap sitting before this zone. So now all we're waiting for is a high to be taken out before getting in the zone, and I will participate. And then I can go ahead and tighten this guy up here, because we're only focusing on 5 minute for entry. We still have a gap sitting below this zone to take this trade. So let's see if we can get a reaction up here, if it even comes up to us at all. If it doesn't, never retraces, we just won't take the trade. Okay, so here's the high to be taken out. We can take it out. There we go. Let me go ahead and extend these out just a bit further. I'll zoom into you guys. I know it's a bit rough for others to see. They have really big screens. Almost tapped it, not quite. And now we're tapping. Okay, so as soon as this breaks the previous low, just a bit below it here, I'm going to put my stops above here, and then we'll go ahead and try to take it down to our nearest low, which is right here, sitting at pretty much a 1 to 2. Now, at this point, you guys can take out partials. You can take out your full amount, but I always put stops to BE once we hit a 1 to 1 right here. This is very important. I want to have a risk-free trade in the markets. Capital preservation is my #1 rule. I am cool to go B if it takes me out B right away, whatever, bro. I just don't care. So as soon as you break this, I'm in this trade. Still not yet. Okay, we're just going to violate this zone altogether. Okay, so this zone got completely violated. We obviously can't trade off of this zone now. Now, if we were to come up into this higher zone, I will take the trade. If we don't, then I just don't want to take the trade. We'll move on to the next day. Let me go ahead and delete all these guys off here. Okay, so we're probably not going to get the trade here. Or we are. Okay, so we just got a nasty reaction off the zone. So we'll just break down all the rules for this one trade. We got the 200 MA is on our side for sales. We have that high to be taken out before we come down up into our zone, which is this high sitting right here. We have a gap before our zone, of course, which we've already discussed over here. Tinier gaps, but nonetheless, there's still a tiny gap up here that hasn't been filled. This lower one has been filled. So as soon as we break lows here, if we end up breaking lows, I'm hopping into this trade. We can look to take our position to a break even at a 1 to 1, and then obviously we can chase lows afterwards. There's our 1-1. And we can chase those down here, which would be a 1 to 2.53. So let's see what happens. Not in yet. Boom. Now we're in. TP1 smashed right away. Thank God. Okay, then we got taken out. So secured some partials here at 1-1. I hope you guys do. I always do with every trade. I rely on my risk percentage to keep me in the game. So I understand people say, 1-3s, 1-4 is what keep you in the game for losing streaks. Yes, I do have minor losing streaks, but I rely on my 70% or above winning percentage to get me into profitability. I'm down to take profits out on 1-1. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make money out here. So I don't need to have the fancy post on Instagram stating that I just made a 1-10. So anyways, we're 1-1 or 1-0 here. We go and put it up. 1 win, 0 losses. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next day here because I think we're getting late in the day. Yeah, it's 11:30 already. So let's go ahead and move on to the next day. We got 5 days in total here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just fast forward and then I'll zoom in for you guys. Don't worry. Okay, we're right at 7 o'clock again. Let's go ahead and zoom all the way in. I'll bring my rules over here so they're not in our way. And we'll start in the 15 minutes. So 15-minute, we see that the 200 is telling us sells right here. Even though we're starting to begin to have higher highs here and higher lows, we're only looking at sells for the 200 MA. Okay, very simple, sticking to trend within this trade. So that's all I have marked up there. Let's go ahead and go down to the 5-minute. 5 minutes kind of sitting, telling us buys. And so we kind of got against bias between two different time frames. But nonetheless, if we can take out this low here and then come down into our zone and have a reaction, I would be down to take this trade. So let's see if we can get that. Okay, so first of all, we just took out this low sitting here. We never came all the way down to demand, so it was just nothing for us to take. And now our supply trade is completely void. I mean, it's out of there. So now the 200 is on our side, we could begin to mark up this guy here. We have a huge gap before coming down into this zone. We're running a little bit late on time, so, and boom, obliterated there. Take this guy out. We still have this guy sitting down here, but I'm getting really low on time here. So unless we have something fat that happens now, we'll just move on to the next day. Decent reaction. We still sitting at our zone. I wouldn't hop into this trade because it's such a fat candle coming down into it. It's not an impulse trade for me. And obviously my favorite entry is to break the previous candle's highs. The previous candle meaning the candle that taps into our supply or demand. In this case, it's demand. But as a scalper, I'm not going to have a 45-point stop loss. So this trade is just null and void. It's probably going to bust through that zone anyways. And there it goes. So we're going to go ahead and just end this day altogether. It's just going to be a no trade for today, which is fine. I'm honestly glad that happened. I'm really down to not take a trade. I don't need to force a trade. Okay, moving on to the next day, which is the 25th now. We'll go into the 15-minute first, which we're sitting at right now. Our 200 is on our side for sales. So there's our supply zone sitting up there. Come down to the 5-minute. We got nothing really going on here. You can put this zone sitting up here, but it doesn't follow our rules. There is no gap before this zone, so I will not take this trade. And down here, you guys have this demand, but one, it's against our MA. And two, this gap is, I mean, it's against our MA, so it's counter trend trading, which I'm not a fan of doing at all. So let's see what we can get here. Never taps into our zone. Maybe it's coming up now, I assume, or not. Again, I wouldn't take this trade anyways. Now we got a new supply forming year. Okay, boom, sitting right there. Move this guy over a bit. Now we're just waiting. I wouldn't just take this. If it flew right up into this, I wouldn't just take this. We need some type of high to take out before entering our zone. And then I'll hop into this trade, which is boom right there. Now we got a high to take out. We have a gap before our zone. This is bread and butter right here if we can actually come back up to it or not. Okay, here we go. So we don't have a reaction off of the zone yet here. Obviously, we can use our safe entry, which is if it breaks below this candle right here, we put our stops above the highest wick of the candles that just entered the zone, and then that'll be our trade, which is boom right there. So we put our one sec. I just want to make sure you guys could hear me. This thing just died on me, which is weird because it's charged. Anyways, keep rocking with it. So now we're chasing lows down here, okay? But as soon as we hit a 1-to-1, we are putting our stops to BE. Whatever happens at that point, we don't care because we've already secured profits. Just want to make sure you can hear me on here. Okay, it is registering. Boom. Let's see what happens. Right away. TP1 hit. Now we have to move to our left side and see what's over here on this side where we could potentially hit too, which is going to be sitting down here. No, it's this next low down here. Which is going to be sitting right here. That'll be TP2. And then, I mean, ultimate lows are all the way down here, which it probably just won't make it to. But again, most of our profits are already secured, so we don't really care what happens at this point. Ultimate lows, we can hit a 1-to-3. So TP2 hit. Oh, come on, baby. TP3 hit, boom. 1-to-3. Okay, so now we're at 2 wins, 0 losses. Moving on to the next day. Let me clean this up a bit here. Okay, moving on. Now we're at 7 o'clock again. Let me zoom into this so you guys can see. Okay, so 200 is on our side here, okay, for sell. So we're only marking up supply setups. That is all I'm marking up for this. So we got the supply sitting right here. We have supply sitting way up here. Why are these valid supplies? This guy up here is very valid because there's a high to take out before hitting it. But also this one down below is valid because there's a gap that needs to be filled before coming up to it. We're just waiting for a high to form to take out. Could be a little diagram here before entering our zone, and then we could participate in those sales. Or it can just melt off and not give us anything. Okay, so there's that high formed. Okay, so there's our entry candle to this zone. Now, as soon as this candle breaks down here, we could be potentially looking to enter this trade, sitting right there. As soon as we hit a 1-to-1, we're good. And then we could be chasing the ultimate lows of this structure point, which is sitting down here. I always like to hit the body of it. Okay, and then if that fails on us, I mean, it may potentially come up into this higher zone. We're just not really interested with it because it doesn't have a gap sitting here. So it's either we take this bottom zone or we have to take this zone sitting all the way up here. And then let me mark out my high so you guys don't get confused here. Here's the high that we just took out before we hit the zone. So if we break this previous candle's lows, I'm in this trade. Boom, we broke these lows. Oh my God, we're about to get yeeted on this shit. Oh, never mind. Oh my gosh. Okay, so TP1 is smashed. That came very close to our stop loss here. Obviously, stops right to break even at this point. If we hit lows, great. If we don't, who cares? And we're out of there completely. Okay, that's three wins, 0 losses. That's awesome. Moving on to the next day. Let me clean this guy up. We'll keep the trade on there. We're just cleaning up those blue lines so it doesn't fold over into the next day. 9:45. I mean, let's see what we can get here still about it. Nothing here. Okay. We came up onto this higher zone. We kind of pulled above it. That's probably London highs right here. No, London highs are sitting right here. So we took out these London highs, but also took out this high up here. I still expect price to melt, but we're just not going to play in it. This is well beyond our trading session here. Took a while for it to melt down, and even went even higher than that. I don't know what's up here. We just got a supply sitting up here. So anyway, moving on. This is now our last day, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is our fifth day. Okay, this is our final day here. Let's stick to the 15-minute. I'll put these over to the side again. Zoom in for you guys. Our 200 MA is telling us we only want buys. Okay, so we're already sitting in this supply here. It's before our trading time. I only take fresh zone. So this zone has already been tapped. So when it comes into our trading time, which is now, I'm not taking it anymore. It was a good trade. Great. It was before I hopped onto the charts. I just don't care. It is what it is. Okay, so we're still only looking for buys. Let me mark up this 15-minute supply here. And we'll go ahead and send this guy home. And go down to the 5-minute. Okay, so 5-minute. We can extra highlight this bottom zone sitting right here. I'm down to take either one of them because obviously this is the big 15-minute pull. We still have a gap sitting above it. But if we come even further down to this zone and reject it, all good by me. But we also have this demand sitting up here as well. Okay, so as soon as we take out this low sitting right above it, we could potentially take this trade, or we can wait for this lower zone to get hit, take out this low right here, come down to this demand, and then I would be looking to take buys. So we'll see if we can even get a reaction off this zone. Boom, we get a reaction. Beautiful reaction. This is exactly what I want to see, is a tap and just go. Okay, same principle. We're waiting for the previous high of the initial candle that tapped into the zone to be broken, and then we enter the trade. As soon as we hit a 1-to-1, we put our stops B, and then we're chasing the next high, which is going to be this guy right here. There's one slightly above it. What is this? Like a 1 to 1.3. To be honest with you guys, just because we're extending past all of these highs here, and we could reverse at any time, I probably would just take full out at 1-to-1. But it is what it is. Let's see what we get here. Oh, yikes. Oh my gosh. We hit a 1 to 2.8. Hey, let's be fair. We said a 1-to-1 here. It's too late in the day. It's 8 o'clock, still early. I'm still down to take this bottom zone down here. If it hits, if it doesn't hit, I don't care. We already got our dub on the day. Let's see where our ones are at up here. Will I reduce my risk if we come down to this lower zone? Me personally, I don't. I'm using the same risk every single trade. Because I trust my strategy. Again, I'm relying on my win percentage, not heavy risk management of reducing risks on second trades and all these extra rules. I just accept my edge in the markets, and I'm going to use it to my advantage. So let's see if we get down there. We also, I was about to say, we have this demand sitting right here. Okay, it is beautiful, but it just got obliterated literally within one candle. So it's a no-go. Here we are, same thing, same exact thing we just took. As soon as it tapped into the zone, touch and go. It's out of there. So we can put our stops up here, or our trade up here, put our stops down here for a 24 point, bit bigger than usual, but still not a 40 pit. Like let's get 25 is probably max I do on NAS, which is really just not that big of a deal. 1 to 1.5 to highs here. So let me mark this out real quick. Let me clean this up a bit. Whoops. There's our 1-to-1 sitting right here. Now, to be honest, and this will be for another video. I'm not giving all y'all all the sauce in this video, but if we start to see our demand fail up here, but our 200 is still on our side, and the market is overextending all the way down past our demand sitting right here, past our demand sitting up here, all the way down And then we get this disgusting reaction sitting off it, bro. I'm entering this aggressive as fuck down here. I'm telling you right now. But for another video, we'll talk about another video. See what happens here. Oh, beautiful. Money, baby. That's it. Let's go. It's 5 wins, 0 losses for the session. I fucking love it, yo. So what we're gonna do, chase high sitting up here. That would be TP2. If we don't hit it, whatever. We hit that and then break even, not break even further. So, and you guys, all I'm doing is going to the left and chasing the next high. So after this point, the next high is sitting up here. Obviously don't be greedy, but I mean, this is a runner. She's a track star. One to three out here. Okay. I'm convinced my headset is just dying out here, but that's gonna conclude the video here, guys. We had a 5 wins, 0 losses for this beautiful session, and I will see you for the next video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on my video. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you.